Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial. In today's video, you're going to be learning how to draft a sheep dress with pockets. The first step is to fold your fabric in two twice. You can see the way I already folded mine, to the front and the back are on the same place, but what you're going to fold with is your shoulder divided by 2 plus your normal short sleeve length and an extra 1.5 inches to turn up the sleeve. So your shoulder divided by 2 plus your short sleeve length plus 1.5 inches you will fold with. Okay, the next step is to mark the neckline. So we're going to be marking the front and back neckline on the same place. So for the neck width, we're going to go in with 3 inches, and for the neck length for the back, we're going to be using 1 inch and then 3 inches for the front neck length. So we're going to connect the neckline with our French curve and then cut the back neckline on both pieces of the fabric. Then after which, we're going to separate the back from the front and then cut on the front neckline. On the front neckline, you're going to come down by another 3.5 inches. This is just the neck style that I chose, so I just made a slit at the center front so that I got to the 3.5 inches mark. The next thing you have to do is to come down by 1 inch from your shoulder line and then connect that 1 inch with a slant line to your neck point. So I'm sorry that my camera was out of frame, or rather my fabric was out of frame in this step, but basically just mark 1 inch at the other side and then connect it to your neckline, then cut just like that. Now we can now go ahead to mark the bust point, waist point, hip point, length of the dress, and also the hemline. So after you mark the length of your dress, you're going to come down by 2 inches, and then that's going to be your hemline. That 2 inches is meant for the turn-up allowance. Next, from the shoulder line, you're going to come down by your client's bicep circumference divided by 2. For me, my client's bicep circumference is 12 divided by 2, and I have 6 inches. So you're going to come down by 6 inches, but because it is a shift dress and it is going to be free, so I came down by 7 inches. So you're just going to come down by 7 inches and then draw out a line. I'm sorry the marker is so faint. I thought it was brighter than what it is right now, but just bear with me please. So when you've done that, you're going to go back to your bust line and then measure your bust circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. On your waistline, you're going to divide your waist circumference by 4 plus 2 inches. The same thing on the hip line as well. Divide your hip circumference by 4 plus 2 inches. So whatever you measure on your hip line, after dividing by 4 and adding 2 inches, you're going to measure it and take that same measurement on your hemline. Then connect all the lines together. That is from your bust point down to your hemline. Next is to connect the armhole to the bust point. So that place we marked on our bust line, the measurements we marked on our bust line, we're going to be using our curved rule to connect that point to the end of the fabric on the armhole line. So now I'm done with the drafting, so I went ahead to cut on the fabric, and you can see that I left about ½ inch on the armhole side just for joining, but for every other thing, which is cutting on the main bodies of the fabric, I did not add any other allowance because we already did. The next step is to cut the facing for the front and the back. So I went ahead to cut the facing for the front and also the back. If you notice, I left about ½ inch at the center front facing, which I ended up taking away, so just don't mind that. So go ahead to cut out. I just chose this shape because I like it, so yeah. For the pockets, you're going to need 4 layers of fabric. So at this point, I was basically using scrap fabric because I was working with very limited amounts of fabric. So for the length of the pocket, we're going to be using 8 inches. And then for the width of the pocket, I had about 7.6 inches. So you're going to connect the 7.6 inches to the 8 inches length. So just like you see me doing here, just going to do like a slant curve and connect the 2 points together. So you should have 4 pieces like I said earlier, and then you're going to place 2 of each with the right sides facing each other, so you have a pair of pockets. You're not going to sew on that straight side, rather you're going to sew around this horizontal line and around the curve with half of an inch allowance. You are also going to leave about half of an inch where you do not sew here and here, so as to enable you have space to join the pockets to the dress later on. So back to our bodies, you're going to open up the front bodies just like so, and then place the front facing on the neckline of the fabric. So just like you see me doing here, the right sides facing each other, we are now going to sew the neckline of the fabric and the facing together. You would have to do the same thing for the back bodies as well. The back bodies and the back facing with the right sides facing each other, and then you're going to sew around the neckline. After sewing the necklines, it is very important that you notch your seam allowance to make sure that the neck is well relaxed. So just look at the way I am notching around. Make sure to not cut through your seam because that would really suck. So you just do that, and then for the back facing, or the back neckline rather, we are going to be top stitching the seam onto the lining. The next step is to place the front bodies and the back bodies with the right sides facing each other. Now we are going to join the shoulders together. So I went ahead to join both shoulders together, which is the back and the front bodies. Have you noticed how helpful my pin cushion has been? If you've not seen this tutorial on how to make this pin cushion, then you should definitely check it out. I will link the video up. So we're going to sew on the shoulder line with half of an inch, and also we're going to sew the armhole and the side seam together with half of an inch allowance. But before you sew your side seam all the way through, from the shoulder line you're going to come down by 19 inches. That is where we're going to start the pocket placement, okay? Don't be like me, I made a very big mistake here with the pocket placement, okay? So listen up. So this part that is curved would be at the top, and the part that is flat, that has like this 90-degree angle, would be at the bottom. So basically, just like I have described the placement, you're going to do just that. Only that for me, I did not know I was doing the wrong thing at this point. Honestly, I realized after I had finished making the choice. Anyways, you're going to place one side of the pocket to the right side of your dress, just like you see me doing here. So make sure to get the placement right. So yeah, I'm just going to place it just like you see me doing, like, and then you sew them individually. Just so there is no confusion, after you have come down by 19 inches from your shoulder point, that 19 inches mark is where your pocket will start. Remember when we drafted the pocket length was 8 inches, right? So from that 19 inches mark, you are going to come down again by another 8 inches. So that 8 inches space is where your pocket is going to lay on. After that 8 inches mark, you can then continue sewing your side seam with the regular half inch. The next step is to turn up the hem of the sleeves with the 1.5 inch. So first thing you're going to do is to first fold with half inch, and then you fold with another 1 inch. As always, pin your work to ensure stability, and then you're going to move over to your sewing machine and sew on it. After that, go ahead to sew the hem of your dress with 2 inches allowance. I later used hemming gum to keep the facing in place. Since I do not have my weaving machine here, I use bias to close the rough edges of the fabric. You can definitely see where I made a mistake on my pockets placement. It's so funny and embarrassing at the same time. So here's the final look. I actually made this dress for my student, and she's the same person I made the skirt for in my previous video. If you have any questions, do want to drop them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on post notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I post a new video. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.